Sharing my screen, just let me know once it is visible.
Is visible. Yep,
Okay,
visible to me.
thanks for confirming. Uh, this is our fourth session of Sitecore basic training. It is regarding layouts and renderings. So we will mainly talk about the presentation in Sitecore. The presentation in Sitecore depends on mainly layouts, rendering, and third one is placeholder. Placeholders will be covered by Meenakshi. But in this session, we'll touch some points of placeholders. The agenda of this session is to see how the Sitecore item presentation is configuring. Then we'll see what is layout and the types of layout. Those are shared and final. Then we'll go through the renderings, different types of rendering and which we are using frequently. Then how can we use renderings as a component binding? And lastly, we'll discuss about best practices. Once this PPT is completed, we'll go through the exercise in this session only. Here I will start with the layouts. So what is layout in the Sitecore? Here if you see any page, any web page which has different parts, header, footer, main content. Main content could be divided into left sidebar, right sidebar, such kind of. So it defines the overall layout of your web page. You will have a different layout for the detail page where you will have header, footer, and some detail. So one website can have a single or multiple layouts. Layouts is similar to main layout in ASP.NET. Layout defines the overall structure of the page. There are two types of layout, shared and final. We'll go through this later when we are seeing the demo. But just for now, just keep in mind, we have two types of layout, which is shared and final. Shared will be shared across the language and the numbered version, while final is specific to language and numbered version. Let's talk about how can we create a layout. Here what we can do, we'll have a main layout.cshtml in our project. We will add a main HTML of a layout in this CSHTML file. We need to publish this main layout.cshtml to webroot where our Sitecore instance is present. Now in the CMS, we need to create a main layout and we need to provide a path where this main layout.cshtml is published. This is mandatory. We need to provide a path. Other properties are not mandatory, model and area. But these things we need to bind where is our file is present and how it is connected with our Sitecore item, Sitecore layout item. Once we have layout which is defined in the HTML file, in the CSHTML file and the layout item, we need to connect our layout to the page item. Page is our home page, about us page or content page, such kind of page. So once you assign your layout to your page item, you will be able to see the reflection of that layout. It means you will see some content which is rendered. Here we have mentioned steps how can we add a layout to a page item. Let's see in the project solution. I have this demo site in my machine where I have main layout.cshtml. Here I have declared HTML content for this CSHTML. Then these are the placeholders. we'll talk about this later. But this page defines the overall structure of your website, the body, header, and the main content. You need to publish this to your Sitecore instance. Your Sitecore instance is in your web root. Your web root, and this is your Sitecore instance, views, and the layouts. You need to follow the same structure which is present here. We have the hierarchy of views, layouts, and inside that we have main layout.cshtml. Same path should be appearing here, views, layouts, and main layout.cshtml. Once you have published, now next step is to create layout item in the Sitecore. For that, once you log into your Sitecore instance, go to content editor. In that, go to layouts and the layouts. Here we have some hierarchy of the our site. So we'll go to project and demo site, and just you need to right click on demo site, insert and layout. You need to give main layout like that. Just provide a name to layout. The layout will be created here, and provide the path. The path is this one. Here your layout will be main layout.cshtml. Like this, you need to provide a path. Once you provide the path, you need to assign this layout to your page item. Generally, best practice says we do not assign page layout to page item directly. We always assign layout to standard values of the page item. Here, this is our home page. The template is of the home page is this one, user defined demo site page template home. We'll go to home page, the standard values, click on the presentation details, and here we can assign the layout. Click on edit. In the layout section, select the layout which you have created. Once that is created, click on OK. So like this, whenever you assign layout to any page and you create items based on that page, the layout will be default assigned. Hence, it is best practice to assign layout on the standard values of the page item. We'll see this later, shared and final layouts. Now next uh, is renderings or components. Here, if you see in this image, this is your web page. Consider this is your web page where you see this the header part. Then there's some promo. You see some icons here with the text and some list here. So this web page is composable of multiple components. As I'm dividing these sections into the components, you can in the Sitecore you can call it as a renderings or components. Both terminologies are valid for the renderings or components. The Sitecore renderings are used to build different sections of the page and collectively build a web page. Now there are different types of rendering. We can create this kind of rendering using multiple ways. So we have different types of rendering, which are view rendering, control rendering, item, method, and JSON rendering. These are the legacy renderings but nowadays we are using view rendering, controller rendering. JSON rendering will be advanced at this point, but in this session we will mainly concentrate on the view rendering and the controller rendering. So what is view rendering? View renderings are bind to item fields directly to view without applying data transforms or other business logic. Here we will directly create the CS HTML file, write our logic and write the logic to fetch the fields. There will no controller for the view rendering. So what are the steps to create view rendering? Create a view file. So you need to create a view file in your project, publish your in the web root. Now create a view rendering item in the CMS and provide path of the CS HTML file which we have published. Same as the layout file, the steps we have created. In the layout, we have created a layout, but here we will create a view rendering. Let's consider the promo component. Shreya created the promo component in our last session. Here, template of the promo component is present inside the user-defined components and the promo component. The promo component, we have image, link, and the other fields. Other fields are inherited. Hence, I can see the four fields are title, description, image, and the link. These are the four fields. Now, based on this template, I'll create its data item. I'll go to content tree, and in the content section, I have demo site, new site, and at the level of form, we have a data folder. Generally, we create all the data inside this data folder. And your page items, which are referring to end users, those will be under the home. Here we have a promo folder which will contains all the promo related data items. Here you can create promo item using insert, right click, insert, and then promo. I've already created a promo demo item where I've provided items title, description, image, and the link. Once you have created data template and the item from that data template, now next thing is to create a view rendering. Here inside the layout renderings, we need to create a layout inside feature promo component. Just click here and insert view rendering. We need to provide a path to the file which is responsible to render this detail. As of now, we haven't created such file. Once we create a file and publish to webroot, we'll provide a path here. Here now let's go to Visual Studio. Here inside view, I have created a folder called promo component. And in the promo component, I have a file called promo.cshtml. I assume you already know how to create .cshtml file. Here inside promo.cshtml, what I'm doing, I'm getting a rendering model. Based on the rendering model, I'm displaying fields of the promo template, promo data item. Now here this field, it is responsible to display image. Here this name should be mapped with your this name. Here I'm fetching the image field of promo data item. You need to provide the item here, and these are the attributes which is responsible for the look and feel of the image. Now second is the title field. Here it is the title field. You need to provide such syntax: HTML Sitecore field, the name of the field and the item. By this way, it will be able to understand that I'm looking for a promo data item and I'm fetching the title field of it. Similar way, you will get the description, which is this one here. I've provided additional condition here. If description has value and my page is in the normal mode, then display the description. This is just a way to add a condition in the view rendering. If I don't provide such condition, in that case, if my description is empty, still p tag will be generated. Hence, I'm providing the condition here. And this condition is I'm checking if currently I'm editing my page, which is in the normal mode or not. So in this way, you can display the description. The next one is link. The link is this one. Using this syntax, you will be able to render the link. You need to provide, these are the Sitecore field renderer. HTML Sitecore field link. You need to provide the model. And you can provide a class to your link field like this. You can provide any additional parameters to your helper using this syntax, class or any data attribute. You see, I have put here the original HTML of the promo component: div, thumbnail, anchor, div, h3p, and div. This whole is the promo HTML markup. We have converted this HTML to our Sitecore specific view rendering. So whenever this field is rendered on the web page, it will be rendering the image tag, the image one. Whenever this link will be rendered on the web page, it will be like this anchor tag. We have seen how to get different types of fields in the view rendering using this syntax. But there are other things as well. By this way, you can able to get the date field inside the view rendering. This is for the single line text field. This is for the rich text. This is for the multi-line text field. And if you have list of items, then you can always go through by each item using for each loop. Now our promo.cs HTML ready. What I will do, I'll publish this promo here. So it will be in my web root. Here this is the promo component and this is the promo.cs HTML. Now I'll go to my component and I'll provide the path where it is deployed. So it is at this path: views, promo component, and promo.cs HTML. Once you have this, you need to add this component to a page. Let me add this component to home page. I'll go to home page, the presentation details. I'll click edit. We'll go to controls to add the components different. I'll click on add. Once you click on add, you will see such kind of structure. You need to select your component where you have created. We have created inside the feature, promo component, and promo. Generally, we create renderings inside feature based on their functionality. So you will see such kind of hierarchy in your feature. In the project, you will see navigation feature, you will see a media feature. Such kind of features are available. Here for the promo component, I've created promo component folder and the promo. I'll click on this component and will add to a main placeholder. Click on select. Once promo is there, I'll click on edit. Now we need to select the data source, which we have created here, promo demo. As component is created, but what thing is pending, what to display, that we need to select here. Now, if I click on browse, currently you see I'm able to see the promo and the promo items only. I'll click promo demo and click on OK. Now I'll see this page in the experience editor or in the preview mode. Let me see this page in the experience editor. This the promo component which we have added at the third position. We have rendered the image, then the title, description, and the link field. As we have used this field renderer, so we will be able to edit this content inside the experience editor. So generally we use field renderer inside the view file, which makes content author's life easy to edit the content directly in the experience editor. I'll go to my slide. So we have seen how the view renderings are added and linked to a page. Now other one is controller rendering. When you have some logic to be added in your functionality, in such cases we will use the controller rendering. When we are doing some such kind of operation on the data which we have received, at that time the controller rendering is helpful. The steps to create the controller rendering is we need to create a view model, we need to create a controller, we need to create a controller which is inherited from the controller, which is our base controller. Then we need to create a view, need to return a view from the controller and with view model. We need to create a controller rendering item, assign a controller field, and assign a action field. Here I'm creating a profile component using the controller rendering. For the profile component, what I have done, there is no business logic, but for demonstration purpose, I've created a profile component. Okay, this is the template of my profile. I'll render this component using the controller rendering. Here you see on the profile, I've created a different fields for the profile: name, date of joining, skills, designation, more details, and the LinkedIn. Here profile has a name which is single line text. Date of joining has date field. Skills is the multi-list field. Skills could be C Sharp, .NET, React, such kind of. So it is a multi-list. Designation is a top link. It will be a DevOps QA or something like that. And the more details is rich text and LinkedIn. I tried to cover fields which are you can easily understand using the controller rendering. Here we have skills and the designation. These two are kind of list from which we need to select items, right? So we need to provide a source. Here you see in the previous session, Shreya has already covered how can we add source to these fields. You can provide item ID, you can provide a path, or you can also provide a query to get the data. Here, from the profile template, I've created a data item. Here I have a profiles folder and I have a John as a profile. Here you see name has John, date of joining is this one, skills have a set of selected items. But we need to create this item. How I have created is to create such items, I've created one template called enum. Enum has just a title field. Okay. And based on this enum, I've created a couple of fields here inside data enums. Here you see the folder hierarchy. This is for the skills. Skills are this one, C Sharp, .NET, Oops, React. Created these data items and path of this ID of these skills I've copied and provided here inside profile. This one. And for the designation, I've created this one. Hence designations ID. You can copy ID from here and provide. Then you will automatically see items are coming here. Select the required set of skills here. Then select a designation. As this is the drop link field, you can select any one from this selection. Then more details, it's rich text, and I have provided a LinkedIn field as a external link. This field is type of general link, and I have provided external link here. Now we have template and the item based on it. Now next thing is to create the rendering. Now we'll go to again rendering feature, the profile detail. We have a profile controller rendering. You can just right click on this and click on the controller rendering. Give it a name, meaningful name to your rendering. I've provided a profile. Here, once you have a item created, you need to provide a path to your controller and the action. This you need to create inside your Visual Studio project. Here, just click, right click and add controller. Once you add controller, you need to inherit from the system.web.mvc controller. Once you create controller, you need to provide this syntax demo site controllers and profile detail controller here. So this will be namespace of your controller and this is your solution name, your which is demo site, this one. So it will know that I have to look for this demo site and I'm fetching a profile detail controller and its method which is my profile which we need to pass here. Once we have provided such a detail here, we need to write our logic. Here what we are doing, we are fetching the Sitecore's rendering context. Once our rendering context is available, we are getting the data source from the rendering context. So how it will work, whenever you add this component to your page, let's say home page on the presentation details. If I add this component here and I see this component using preview or experience editor mode or on a web page, at that time this line will execute. This controller will be called and this action. So what it is looking for, we are getting the rendering context And if my rendering context is not null, I'm getting the data source. So in this case, what I will get the data source of this one profile. Once I configure here, I will get this data source here. This data source will be your ID, string ID of this one. Once you have this, what you can do based on ID, you can fetch the item from the Sitecore context database. Context database is currently where you are seeing your changes. If I open this page in the preview or experience editor mode, my context database will be master. If I open home page as a user friendly or end website, then my context database will be web database. So based on ID, what we are doing, we are fetching the item. So we have item profile, which is this one. Now we have got this item at this point. So once we have item, what we are doing, we are passing it to view. Our view hierarchy is here. The same way we have created a controller, we'll create a profile detail folder here. The controller name is the same as the folder name, profile detail, and inside that, the my profile name method will be like your CSHTML file name. This should be matching my profile and my profile.cshtml. As we have passed the profile item, we will receive the item type here. If you are passing a list of items here, then you will have to fetch the list of items here like this way. So what type you are passing, that type should be receiving here. Here I'm getting the item type. So item is my model now. This model is my item. What I'm doing, I'm rendering name field of the profile item, which is this one. Then using field renderer, I'm rendering date of joining, which is this field. And I want a format of date as this way, month, date, and year. Then I'm rendering more details here, which is this one, rich text field. Then I'm rendering skills here. Skills is your multi-list field. So what I'm doing, I'm getting skills field of my profile item and I'm typecasting it to Sitecore's multi-list field. Okay, so when I see this skills as a row value, what I get pipe separated list of IDs. Here, Sitecore provides inbuilt prototypes, which is converting your pipe separated IDs to your objects. Hence, it is always recommended to use a prototype which is provided by Sitecore itself. So we are casting our skills to this multi-select field. Once you have multi-select field, you can get items. So here, these IDs will be your get items now. Here you have got all the three items. And what you are doing, you are looping through each item. So you are going through items here, each item. In the next line, from each item, we are displaying its name. Where have we created? These are the items which we are looking for. From each item, we are displaying its title value, which is this one. This way, you can loop through all your skills, which is of type multi-select. Similarly, you can do for the tree list field. Now, next one is designation. This field of type drop link. If I see its raw value, it is again um, ID, but with a single selection. Okay. So what we are getting, we are fetching the designation field and we are typecasting it to a reference field. Here reference field means it is referring to some other item. It is referring to this designation. So we have designation which is with software developer ID here. And what we are doing from the reference item is not null. We are considering its target item. Its target item is software developer, which is this one. Now, once we have software developer as a designation item, what we are doing, we are displaying its title field, which is this one, title.value. And finally, we have a link field. The name of this link field is LinkedIn, and we have provided external link here. Here, once you click on insert external link, this pop-up will be come up. You need to provide description to your link URL. You can click on test to test this URL where it is redirecting. Once you provide the necessary parameters here, click on insert. Now our next step is to fetch this LinkedIn field in the code. Here we are fetching the fields LinkedIn and typecasting it to a link field. Here we are checking the link type of the field. In the CMS, you can provide a media link, external link, anchor, email, such kind of different types of link. Here we have written the switch case and looking for the external link. Here all these cases will be for link field.url to get the URL field of the link. For this kind of link, we can always get the URL using this syntax link field.url. If we have uploaded any media, then in that case, we can get media item using this way. And we are printing the URL here. Now we have created your controller and you have your view file. What you need to do, you need to publish this project to your web root. Otherwise, there is manual step as well. You can just rebuild this project and copy its DLL and view file and publish it to your web root. So in web root, you will have your DLL inside the bin folder, which is demo site.dll, and you will have a views which have profile detail and your my profile.cshtml view. So now you have written the logic how to render your controller rendering, which is this one. Now you need to configure this component on your home page. What we'll do, we'll go to home page presentation details and we'll click on edit controls and we'll add our component which is profile component inside the main placeholder. Now we need to provide the data source here which we have created John. I'll click on this rendering edit and we'll browse for the data source. I'll click on John and OK. Now I'll see this component which is added at the uh, fourth place in my page. I've already opened my home page in the experience editor. Here you see the title, date, rich text, skill designation, external URL which is LinkedIn, all are coming here. By this way, you can render your controller renderings data. Now we have seen how to create controller and view rendering. Next step is to see useful fields on a rendering item, whether it is controller or view rendering. Let me go to my rendering items on the profile. There are multiple fields are available, but we generally make use of this data source location, data source template on the rendering. On the profile, what I do, the location, I provide data profiles location, this location. So whenever content author adds this component or select these components, they know from where to select my data items. So this path is required. For that we need to provide a path here and the data source template. Here content author should be able to select only profile type of item. If I don't give such restriction, then content author can select, or it will be like confusing for them which item to select. So better we can restrict them by providing such location and the template field. Here we are restricting content author to select profile folders only, and from that the profile type of item only. So these two fields are necessary mainly. And there is one more field which is parameters template. It is just for the, if you are providing any presentation kind of attributes on top of your data items, then parameters template is useful. We'll see this later in our session. Now ways to add components on a item. So there are two ways to add components in the Sitecore presentation. One we have seen using the placeholder. We just saw that, right? On the home item, if I click on presentation details, how am I adding? I'm adding controls add this profile and then main. Okay, I'm following this way, which is part of dynamic binding. And first is the static binding. You can statically bind your component in the layout, so which cannot be modified from the CMS. So generally we can say header and footer kind of components which are statically binding. In nowadays we don't put anything statically binding, but as a developer we should be knowing that what is static binding. So once I add any component which is statically binded, in that case I will not be able to add or remove that component from the experience editor. In the experience editor, if I go to promo component, I will be able to remove it like this. But if it is statically binded, I will not be able to do any operation on this component. So how can you do a static binding to your component? In this way, you can bind your component statically. Here, just click on this line, and what we can do in the layout, here I can write this. So what it will do, rendering. I'll provide the rendering ID of my promo. This one. This is the rendering ID promo, and I'm passing its data source ID. The promo as data source, which is this one. Once I do and publish it, let me remove the components which are added from here. See, I have not added component directly on the home page. I'm rendering promo component using the main layout, which is present here. And as I see this component in the experience editor, I don't have control on this component. So it is statically binded. So generally in the Sitecore, we provide flexibility to do operations on the component. We generally do not add components statically. We always go with the placeholders, which is the dynamic binding. So Meenakshi will cover more on this in her session, how the placeholders are configured and what is the use of it. But using this way, you can add components to your placeholder. The next one is compatible rendering. So we have gone through the types of rendering. The next topic is compatible rendering. So from this image, can you see here we have image, text, description. Here also we have image, text and description. The data is same, but the look and feel of this component is different. This is called the compatible rendering mainly, where we have similar data but different presentation of the same data, where we do compatible rendering. Nowadays, we do not use compatible rendering, but better to know what is compatible rendering. You can refer compatible rendering from your side. We will not cover this in this session. I'll just have provided the definition. What is it? The next topic is rendering parameters. Rendering parameters works with all types of rendering. Here we will see how to configure rendering parameters. Here rendering parameters, we are providing additional information to our rendering using the rendering parameters. To create it, first we need to create its template. What I'll do, I'll go to my template section inside user defined demo site. I've created a folder hierarchy called rendering parameters, and I've created a promo rendering parameters. This is the template like the other templates, but we need to create template using this base template. Let me create one for this demo. Insert new template, and here your base template should be your standard parameters template, which is available inside system. Then system layout and rendering parameters and standard rendering parameter. By this way, you can create a template of type rendering parameters. Okay, so I've created it for the promo, and on this template, I've just provided a button style. So my end goal is to do, I want to achieve a different button style based on the rendering parameter. Okay, my button style would be of type like this. My button style could be a default, primary or warning. So you will see buttons background color will be changing based on these parameters. So here I've provided a path to this item inside my promo rendering parameter, which is of type drop list. Now what I'm doing on the home page, I'm adding a promo component again. You see, I'm adding inside the shared layout. Uh, Click on edit, controls, add, and the promo component. I'll add to main, select, OK, and OK. Now we have created a rendering parameter, but we need to tell a rendering that uh, we have created a rendering parameter for this rendering promo. We have promo and the template here, but we need to connect it. How will we do it? On the promo component, we'll go to its property called parameters template. And here we need to select the new template which we have created using rendering parameters. Once you select and save this, you will go to your home item and edit the promo. Here you see we have added a rendering parameters field which is button style. And here you can see select the button style which are these three. Let me select the BTN primary along with the data source. So by this way, along with the data source, you can also pass some additional details, mainly presentation kind of details, which generally affects the presentation, look and feel of your component. Okay, I'll click on OK. Okay, and I'll reload this page. Can you see I've added this promo component? This one is statically binded promo component, and this one is I've added through main, and this CTA color has changed from default to primary. I can also edit the data source related information from the experience edit itself. I can click on more, edit components property. And here you can update the parameters of your component. I'll select the BTN warning. Here's, you see the color has been changed for this button. This is the one of the use case for rendering parameter. You can always do hands-on based on the requirement or sample which you are looking for. We covered the rendering parameters. Now let's talk about the best practice. Generally, layouts are assigned to a template standard values. So there are two types of template. One is data template, which is this one, all data templates, where we do not set the presentation. It is responsible to make the component, but we are not setting the presentation details here. We are setting or assigning layouts on the page item. So we have two types of templates, page templates and data templates. So these all are data templates where we do not assign layout, but we assign layouts to page items. And we follow the best practice is to assign layout to standard values of page templates. So whenever you create any pages based on this page template, the layout will be automatically available. Then a best practice for rendering is to set the data source template, data source location. We already know how do we set, how to set. We have already set for profile and promo using these fields where content author is for content authors. It will be easy to select the specific folder and the specific data item for the particular component. It will be easy to do their work. Then set the thumbnail image for your component. So you can set the thumbnail image for your component just for a content author's sake. So they can easily identify how this component will look like. And last one is assign set of renderings to shared and final layout. So what is shared and final layout? The components which are common and that cannot be updatable. We will put such kind of components inside shared layout. The global components, header and footer, such kind of, and other components which are which will be like your main components. Those will be inside the shared layout. So when you go to your user define, and page templates, and the presentation details, you will see a shared layout. Here you can add your components. So whenever you create home page from this page template, you will see layout and the controllers are already pre-configured, which are necessary. And other one is final layout. So what you can do, there is some prerequisite that one page has some components, but when you create the page item and you want to add that component not to generic but specific to that page, then you can add that component inside the final layout. Okay, these were regarding my topic to cover. I'll quickly walk through the exercise which you can do to do your hands-on. You can create a layout. I have written the steps and already demoed how to create a layout. You can create a layout file inside your project solution, provide some basic HTML structure to your page, then publish your layout file to Webroot, create a layout item inside the Sitecore CMS, follow the correct path to create item, and add your published CSHTML path to this property. Once you have a HTML file and your layout item created, you can assign that layout to standard values of the any page. For example, the home page, you can create a new page and you can assign it to standard values. By this way, you can create a layout. Now we have seen how to create a layout. The next thing what you can try, create a rendering. One is view rendering, second one will be controller. For example, let's create a promo component uh, which has look and feel like this. It has image, title, description, and the read more CTA. You can create a new template if you don't have, or use the existing template if you have worked on the Shreyas session. Once your promo template created, create a promo view rendering. And similarly, in the Visual Studio, you can create a promo.cs HTML file like this by providing the correct hierarchy. Here, provide the path and data source location, data source template properties. Once you do this, you need to create the data items for the promo. Your data items will be here. Create the data item promo folder and the promo item. Add the specific content here for your promo. Here you can go through this promo.cs HTML file, how to fetch this fields value. Then publish your promo.cs HTML and assign your promo component to a home item using presentation details. So mainly there are three steps. Just create a view file in project. Second, create a view controller item or view item inside your CMS. And third is assign that component to your page. So mainly high level, if you say, there are three steps only. Once you add your promo component on the home page, just go through experience editor mode and see its changes. Similarly, you can create a controller rendering called profile. The same way, this will be the look and feel your profile component. For the profile, you will have such fields which I already walked you through in this session. Create a this template, enum template. Create a data items for enums, which will be part of your profile. Once you have this, create a controller rendering item inside the CMS. Provide the appropriate path here. Set the data source location template property. Create a data item, which is this one. These all data items, create those first. Once you have this handy, what you can do, go to your code, create a controller, fetch the data source. Once you have data source, pass it to your view file. Read all the fields of your controller rendering, which is John, in this case, John data item. Read all of them and display it. Now publish your project to Webroot. Assign this profile component to home page. We have this profile component ready. Now we need to assign it to home page. By this way, you can assign this component. The steps are written here. Once everything is configured correctly, open this page in the Experience Editor mode to see the changes. The last one is how can you configure the parameters template. I've already shown how to create the template. Once you create the template, just configure it accordingly on the promo component. Here you need to assign this parameters template on the promo, and this code is responsible to read the rendering parameters. Which is already written in the your view file. And once you add this on your home page and set its parameters detail, you will be able to see different effect on the CTA, which is on the promo. You can follow this exercise. It will give you a confidence to work with the different type of components in the Sitecore CMS. Do let me know if you have any queries. This is it for this session. I'll share these files with you so it will be easy, the code file and the PPT and the exercise files. Anyone has anything to share? Otherwise, we are good to drop.
Devanshi, I have one point.
Mm-hmm.
Just a call out.
Hmm.
So team, whatever Devanshi has demonstrated here, that all need some basic understanding knowledge of site .NET MVC. You should be aware about .NET MVC syntax, .NET some basic link queries, how to write the link queries also. That you will have to learn self-learn. So syntax, if you have any doubt regarding what is the syntax, how it is works, so you will have to go to the some crash course of .NET MVC, how controllers bind, what is linked to, how we can get items from the list also. That is not, it is actually not a scope of this exercise. You will have some prior knowledge of .NET and MVC. I think that is it, Devanshi, from my end.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Salim bhai. Thanks for sharing this. Okay, I think we are good to drop off this call. Thanks everyone for the joining. I hope this session will give you insight for how to create components inside Sitecore CMS and work with them. Do practice so it will give you confidence to work with it. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.